If we were to give out an award for the best film, what would it be called?
I like The Midge.
I like The Midge too.
But plural, like the midges. That sounds like a slur.
A little bit.
But really, it's Midge from Vertigo.
Who we love.
Which was our first episode.
Yes.
And if you've ever emailed with us, you'll recognize her as the face on the email.
I wonder if people get confused.
You're like, who is this?
I want to go back and listen to our Vertigo episode and hear how much we love Midge, because I forgot what we even say. I think we just love her.
We do. And it's so weird. One time I did go back and listen to like the first episode or two, and it was
bad.
It wasn't bad, but like the rapport isn't 100% there yet.
Got it.
We're both just like,
should I say
not
this?
shy,
Should
but
I
like,
not?
yeah.
Now we'll say anything.
Yeah, we will say anything. Like, that was your number one of the year? That was a piece of shit.
We don't say that.
No, that's over dramatization.
We're classy.
Hey, everybody.
Hi.
Welcome to Seen and Heard. This is normally the podcast where we go through the Sight and Sound greatest films of all time list. But today, we're doing our annual special. We do this once a year. And this is our third annual favorite films from the previous year episode. So we're counting down our favorite films from 2024.
Yes.
Just in time for the Oscars.
Just in time.
Just kidding. They just aired. But
we haven't seen them when we recorded
We're recording this before the Oscars, so whatever happened then, we are not privy to now. So.
Right. True.
Not that they matter, but
they
really don't.
Yeah.
And I feel like this year, I think both of us are this way, but you more so than me. Try to see everything that's nominated. This year, I could not be bothered. I was just like, this lineup is doing so little for me.
The thing is, assembling this list this year, it was hard because there weren't that many movies I loved, but there were many that I liked, which made like the bottom half kind of hard. I don't know if you felt that way.
You know, I agree with you. I think there's a lot of strong films this year, but I don't think it was a great year for movies. I think the previous two times we've done this annually, I've had a very clear number one where I was like, oh my God, I loved this movie. And not to diminish anything on my list this year, but there wasn't necessarily that one movie that stood out. I had to
think about it a little.
Yeah, I did think about it too. And I still love my number one, but it wasn't like the last 2 years where I was like, oh my God, this is head and shoulders above the rest of the stuff. So
Right. But I did have I had a head and shoulders above the rest of the stuff where I'd say my top five. My top four, I'm sorry. My top four.
Okay.
Everything else was kind of like I had to do deep thinking.
So if you haven't heard us do this before, we each have 10. They're ranked from 1 to 10. And we don't know what each other's lists are.
Yeah, but sometimes we do ties.
Yeah, sometimes we do ties.
And sometimes we do. Yeah.
So I guess with no further ado, do you want to get into, first of all, we should mention movies we didn't have time to see.
Yes. I'm Not There is the top of my list.
I didn't see it either.
Of movies I want to see.
Or is it I'm Still Here?
Yes.
I know there's so many movies. There's so many titles this year that like I was like, what's that called again?
I'm Still Here, I think it's called. I have to see that. I really want to see All We Imagine As Light, which is having its Criterion premiere, I think this Friday.
Yeah.
So like right before the Oscars, even though, is it nominated? No, it's not.
Okay.
BAFTA though.
Oh, okay.
It was. I really want to see No Other Land. I really wanted to see Bird by Andrea Arnold. I still haven't seen it, but it's on Mubi.
That's right. It is on Mubi. I didn't even know that she had a new one out until I was browsing Mubi and I saw it on there and I was like, oh shit, Andrea Arnold.
I think that's all those are the movies I really want to see. Like those are my essentials still have to see.
Okay.
I believe.
I have a lot of overlap with you. All We Imagine Is Light. I'm Still Here. Evil Does Not Exist.
Oh, I saw that.
And in all transparency, I did start it. And it was good, but I was just, it's very meditative and slow. And I had a lot of other things going on and I paused it to do some errands and then I never picked it back up. So I saw like maybe the first 20 minutes and it was beautiful. You know, I didn't turn it off out of disgust or anything.
Right.
I didn't see The Last Showgirl.
Oh, yes. That I also really want to see.
I didn't see Sing Sing.
Me neither. I forgot about all of these.
And yeah, Bird.
Here I am thinking I was like so good this year, and yet they're still. But you know what, Greg? We're better than Oscars voters. There's like a bunch of memes going around online. It's really hilarious.
We're like, they didn't watch.
Of like, when Oscar voters have to watch a movie, and it's just like, someone in despair. So I think we're better than a lot of them.
Hey, you said it, not me.
We are. I mean, we like watching movies.
We do like watching movies.
One Oscars voter said he didn't vote for Ralph Fiennes because he's already won.
Which was not
which
true.
Is false.
And they voted for
said,
Adrian Brody instead, because he hadn't won, but he has won for The Pianist. Yeah.
Hilarious.
Do you have honorable mentions?
I saw The TV Glow.
Oh, didn't make the top 10, huh?
It didn't.
That's
it was
fair.
very close. It was very, very close. The Beast, which I mentioned I really liked.
Bertrand Bonello?
Yes.
I didn't see it.
And also Dee Dee.
Oh, yeah.
Those are my those ones I really tried to fit in. I was gonna do like a bunch of ties, but then I was like,
no,
you
can't.
Cheat.
No.
So yeah, those are my honorable mentions.
Okay, well, we have one overlap though. There, Dee Dee is on mine too. Flo is on mine. I
didn't even see that yet. Sorry, add that to my list.
It's on.
I have to see it.
It's on Max. It's streaming on Max now.
Okay.
But yeah, that was really beautiful.
There's another animated film I really want to see, the snail one.
Memory of a Snail or
Yes.
Memoir of a Snail? Yeah, I want to see it too.
Yeah.
I think that's the guy that did Mary and Max.
That sounds right.
Yeah, I want to see that. So yeah, didn't get around to that. Furiosa, I really tried to get on here. I really liked Furiosa. I'm not really a huge fan of Fury
Furiosa.
Road. People say Fury Road's one of the best movies of the 21st century so far. I disagree. For me, Furiosa is where it's at over Fury Road.
I did like it.
And Wallace and Gromit, honestly, the new Wallace and Gromit, Vengeance Most Foul, which is a direct sequel to The Wrong Trousers, which is one of the greatest pieces of animation ever. Surprisingly, it was good. It was good. Like, I wouldn't have put it on my top 10, but shout out. And then what's essentially my number 11. So this is my strongest of my honorable mentions. And I really, really tried to get this on the list. And if there's anything that people take away from this, it's to go see this movie. And I don't think that you loved it, but it's Queer by Luca Guadagnino.
You saw it?
Yeah, I loved it. And I really tried to get it on here. I didn't know going into it that it was a Burroughs adaptation. And he's playing the Burroughs character. And I thought it was adventurous, and
It was.
I really liked it. I really dug it. Pulling a lot of like from Carell and stuff with the fake sort of production-y aspect of it. Everything looks really fake and heightened.
Stuff.
I really wanted to get it on here.
Yeah.
And I'll probably listen to this later while I'm editing and be like, damn, I should have gotten it on the top 10.
Yeah.
I really loved it. So if you haven't seen, again, it goes with my theory that like every other Guadagnino movie, people don't talk about.
Yeah.
So because everyone talked about Challengers, no one is talking about Queer.
No one talked about it.
No one
really
saw
didn't.
it. I think you're the only other person I know that's seen it.
Really?
Yeah. So Queer, Luca Guadagnino, go see it. It's really fantastic.
I think it's a very special movie.
Yeah. So that's basically what my number 11 would have been if we could go to 11.
Nice.
So our number 10s, do you want to start us off?
Yeah.
What's at number 10? Let's hear it. Drum roll.
Now I'm like rethinking everything now that we've mentioned all these movies that I actually have seen. And I'm like, wait. No, but I'll just go with what I have.
Oh, and a disclaimer too is that all of these films were released in the US in 2024.
Okay, yeah, we're going to get to that.
Some of these were released in 2023 in the country that they came from, and then we got them in 2024.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so my number 10 is Conclave by Edward Berger.
Okay. I didn't see that. I forgot to mention it.
I just had a really fun time with this movie. Like, it was just a really good, again, kind of like, I think it's mid-budget. I want to say like mid-budget drama, but I really like what they did in that, like everything you expect from one of these like corrupt church movies, like it didn't do that. It was genuinely like really just like straightforward, juicy drama, no cliches, and a really surprising ending, which I like only saw coming like the second before it happened. And I was like, that makes sense. So I really enjoyed Conclave. And I think that the performances across the board are great. And I highly recommend it. There's a few shots in there that are like they really made an impact on me. And like, I see people repost them all the time, and it's just like, it's just nice that there's this like kind of like this movie where it's basically just like priests talking, but like there's really beautiful shots and there's really beautiful acting, and it did well. And so I really liked Conclave.
I need to see it.
I think it's well written, and I think it's really well acted. And yeah.
The only reason I didn't see it when it came out was because I didn't like his last movie, which I think was also up for Best Picture, which was his adaptation of All Quiet on the Western Front.
Oh, is that the same guy?
Yeah, I didn't like that at all.
I didn't see it.
So I was like, okay, well, you have to earn me back. You have to win me back.
I think you'd like it. It's a bunch of sassy priests.
No, I want to see it. I just didn't get around to it.
Yeah.
My number 10 is Love Lies Bleeding by Rose Glass.
Oh, I need to see that.
So this is like a return to the neo-noirs of yesteryear. A lot of people have said it would pair well with something like Blood Simple, and I absolutely think that that's the case. It's great. It's just, it's a stylish, slightly surreal kind of like lovers on the run crime thing.
Yes.
And it's Kristen Stewart and Katie O'Brien, and of course Ed Harris plays a great kind of decrepit villain in it. But it's really good. It has a great score. It's beautiful to look at. It's just neo noir. The steam is coming off of it. It takes place kind of in like the bodybuilding world and
80s, right?
80s, and it's great. It's cool. It's just sort of a genre exercise. Mm-hmm. It's fantastic.
Great. I know. I really need to see that. Add that to my list.
Yeah. That's my number 10.
Okay. My number 9 is Nickel Boys.
Wow.
Mel Ross. Why are you saying wow?
No reason.
I saw Nickel Boys like on a Tuesday night at 9 p.m. and the theater was packed. And it was just really nice that we were all there. And it felt like a very communal, like watching experience. It was at the other AMC, the AMC across from In-N-Out.
Yeah, the 6.
Yes.
That's my favorite.
And it was just very intimate.
The underground one.
Yes. And I think that when the movie started, especially the first, I'd say 20 minutes, I was so enamored. And I was just really, my heart was just like pumping. Like the first 20 minutes, I would say, is just like in that POV, just like watching him grow up and his I just loved it. And I love the thing. I love the photo booth in that first 20 minutes. And I really like the ending as well. The middle, obviously very hard to watch, but nonetheless important. And yeah, it like certain moments they stand out to me a lot. And I think that the cinematographer, his name is Jomo Frey. He also did All Dirt Road's Taste of Salt last year, another like gorgeous ethereal film. And so yeah, I just think that the beauty of Nickel Boys is really strong and powerful.
That's fair.
I know you disagree a little, but it's okay. That's what we're here for.
Yeah,
is to talk and discuss.
I like the story, but because it's based on true events, but the POV didn't work for me. It never rose above hard. Gimmick, and I thought it actually crippled the movie at a certain point.
Yeah. I would say I really loved it the most in the beginning. I really loved it when it was just Elwood. But yeah.
My number 9 is La Chimera, Alice Rohrwacher. So I had not seen her last film, which was Happy as Lazaro, but it was on my radar at the time, and I've been meaning to see it since. So this is my first film of hers, and this was great.
I love it so much.
It's a character study of someone who's just kind of drifting through existence. Josh O'Connor, who, it's funny, and I'm sure it'll be on your list, did nothing for me in Challengers.
He does everything for me in both films.
But here, it was great. And it's about sort of an archaeologist who spends his time, he's just kind of wandering through life, and he pairs up with his old pals, and they just kind of like grave rob sites and sell the stuff. And so he lives this kind of nothing existence, and it's just a great character study. And a really well-made film with, honestly, the ending, and you're gonna make fun of me, the ending makes it. Like, I really liked it, and then the ending happened.
Made it a great film.
Yeah. Oh, it does. I'm like, it was really good.
It does.
And then the end happens, and I was like, okay.
It's perfect. The end is so good.
I have a feeling this might be somewhere on your list.
Oh,
but
man.
yeah.
I love that movie so much. I bought it immediately. It's one of those. It's like you watch it, and when you love
available?
it. Yeah. I have a Blu-ray.
Who has it? Who put it out?
I don't remember.
Is it like
I bought it on Amazon
or something?
Huh. I don't think so.
Oh, okay. So yeah, number 9, La Chimera.
What a great movie. Like more movies like this, please.
Is this your number 1 or something?
Let's just continue. That's your number 9. Okay.
That's my number 9.
Number 8 for me is Dune Part 2.
I'm surprised it made it on your list.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It's so not me. But I really loved it. Like, I loved the whole, like, it came out, it was this big blockbuster. Everyone was talking about it. I really take into consideration, like, the
cultural impact.
The cultural impact is that, like, around each of these movies, and my actual movie going experience has a lot to do with this list. But I love how Dune was an international hit, and like everyone was talking about it. And it was just, I think that it's one of probably the best like blockbuster-y movie we've had since like, I mean, like even Barbie was so divisive, right? And
and that's in a different way.
Yeah.
It's not a big action spectacle.
Exactly. Like a big action spectacle, I think that I haven't really liked any in the past, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how many years. So I really, really liked this. And I thought that it was beautifully made, and the cast is incredible, and the story is really good too, because it really got me thinking. Like, that's the thing that changes it, is that it's so, I know like all like sci-fi things are like political, but like this one really, I think, is something about the what are those witches,
the Bene Gesserit?
Yes, like I fucking love those Bene Gesserits, and I like, they're so fascinating to me, and they're so like, they actually make you think about like, wait a second, what? Like, this is just like, what religion is not this?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so I think that that's what made Dune Part 2 stand out to me, is like it did all the action stuff, but it also like I'm glued to like the world, and I mean, I don't even remember their names, but in the moment
well, there's a lot of names.
I was very much like, this is so interesting, and it's actually like saying something, and so for that reason I really like Dune Part 2. Nice. What's your number 8?
My number 8 is The Girl with the Needle, Magnus
Oh my God,
von
yes.
Horn.
Wait. I was supposed to put that on my list.
Oh, okay. Well, here, we'll both talk about
list.
it here, and people will know that you meant to put it on.
That was meant to be on my list? Oh my God, I forgot it. It's on my old list, and then I made a new list, and I forgot
it. Happens, because I've made multiple versions of this, and you always, it's like shuffling.
What would I have to cut? I think I'd probably cut Conclave for it.
So let's say it's your number 10.
I don't know. I hate doing this. Girl with the Needle. Let's
Girl
both
with the
talk
Needle,
about it.
Magnus von Horn with, oh my God, what's her name? The lead, because she's incredible, and this is the third thing I've seen her in, and she's so good.
When did you watch all these?
Like in the last week or two. Vic Carmen Son?
Yes.
She's incredible.
She's really good.
I saw her first in Holiday, and then I saw her in Godland, and then this, and she's incredible. She's so good.
She's an amazing
She's the future.
actress.
She's really
so expressive.
Yeah. And not afraid to go there.
Yes.
In so many of her performances.
And her face is just hilarious. Like, anytime she was pissed off, her facial expression was just so perfect.
Yeah.
I thought it was a great movie. I thought it was like, it really belongs in that, like, I think I mentioned this last time. It's just like this like dark European, there's something under the surface here that's very like twisted.
Yeah.
And it was just like, I loved it.
Beautiful black and white cinematography.
Beautiful.
It takes place just after World War I.
It's so grim.
Denmark?
I love it.
It's Denmark.
Yes.
But yeah, basically this woman gets involved in an adoption ring. That's all I'll say. But it's based on a true story.
Are we doing no spoilers here?
Let's do no spoilers, yeah, because you assume people haven't seen all these movies. Okay. It's not like an episode dedicated to Girl with the Needle.
Sure.
So yeah, let's do no spoilers. But yeah, it's a fantastic movie.
I thought it was great.
Yeah.
I thought it was great. What about that carnival? I knew you'd like that.
Why would I?
Because you like creepy. It's like Elephant Man.
Yes, totally. A little bit. Yeah.
It's Satan Tango-y.
Yes.
It's really good. I really loved it.
Yeah, really good.
It would be on my list if I remembered.
This is on Mubi if you're listening anytime in the aftermath of this episode.
Yes. I thought it was great too. Like I was glued to the screen the whole time.
7?
Number 7, yeah. My number 7 is A Different Man.
Oh, I didn't
Aaron
see
Schimber.
this. Oh my God, I meant to see this.
So, this movie is so good. It's very Charlie Kaufman-y. It's very it juggles genres very well. It's really funny. Like it is actually really, really funny. And the whole cast is incredible. But Adam Pearson, like the fact that he's not nominated for an Oscar really, really, really bothers me. Especially considering just like, I don't know. It's just, he is so fun in this and so cool and just, I just love it. It's really good. I don't know if I'm sure you know the story, but and also Sebastian Stan. Sebastian Stan is incredible in it. But it does like body horror stuff. It does comedy. It does thriller. It does this Kaufman-y thing of like we're putting on a play, but of course the play is also their real life, and it's really good.
Yeah, I meant to see that.
I think you'd really like it.
Yeah, he's fantastic. He appeared. His debut was Under the Skin.
Also
Adam
great
Pearson,
in that.
and then he was in Chained for Life or something. But yeah, he's been in a few movies
But
over the years.
this is such a fun role for him, and I can just tell he's having so much fun, and he's just so cool. Like, you know what happens essentially, right? Is like Sebastian Stan has surgery, then there's this play about his life, and the Adam Pearson character kind of just like strolls in, but obviously he's like super charming and cool and everyone loves him. And meanwhile, like Sebastian Stan has like no confidence. And it's so good.
Oh,
It's really good.
you have to see that.
And funny. Anyway.
So that was your number 7.
Yes.
My number 7. There's a few like masters on this list, and this is one of them. It's Hard Truths by Mike Leigh. This was just like after kind of a decade of doing sort of period stuff, these almost like period bigger films. This was like a return to the classic Mike Leigh formula. And I went with a friend, shout out Josh if you're listening, because I know he listens. And I remember we talked about it briefly afterwards. He's like, yeah, that was pretty good. And then last time I talked to him, he's like, that's now my favorite Mike Leigh movie.
Wow.
I wouldn't go that far, because Life is Sweet is very near and dear to my heart, and Secrets and Lies and a few others. But like this one's really good, and it's just classic Mike Leigh, and he's working again. It's a Secrets and Lies reunion with Marianne Jean-Baptiste. And yeah, she's so good in it. And again, it's that perfect Mike Leigh thing. No one does this like Mike Leigh, where it's really funny and truly devastating.
Yeah.
And they exist at the same time. And to pull off that balancing act is magic.
It is.
I didn't know he had a new movie.
I didn't either.
And most people
until you
I've talked
told
to,
me.
yeah, they're like, wait, Mike Leigh has a new movie out? I'm like, yeah, it's out right now. So this was fantastic. It's classic Mike Leigh.
So I have two masters that I didn't see their films, essentially. And it's this one, Hard Truths, and The Room Next Door by Almodovar. I did not see.
Oh, I didn't see that
and
either.
I feel
I heard
awful.
bad things about that one, though.
I just feel awful that I haven't seen these two movies.
Don't feel that bad.
I do.
You can still see them.
But you know why? Because like I said, there were a lot of movies I kind of liked, and yet like two masters came out with a movie and I didn't see them.
I mean, you know, I hear you. It's hard to keep up.
It's just hard. It's also hard because they don't really have traditional AMC releases, and I have AMC.
This one I saw at an AMC, actually.
But like AMC has no good system of like, okay, notify me when tickets become available for this.
Right.
They don't have that.
They don't.
So like things come and go, and I don't even know about it.
Yeah.
Because and if it's like a international film, they only stay at AMC for like 5 days, maybe if you're lucky, and they come and go, and I don't even see them.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Absolutely. This was at AMC for like a week or two, and I did see it then. But yeah, Hard Truths, number 7.
Number 6 is The Brutalist by Brady Corbet.
Nice.
I know you saw this.
I did see it.
Finally.
Yeah.
And you liked it.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see where it lands on your list.
Who said it's on my list?
Well, I thought The Brutalist is definitely probably the most beautiful film of the year. Like if the Brutalist,
Cinematography
wise, score wise,
yes,
I love the score of The Brutalist the most, and I think that the first image, there was a tweet the other day. I'm on film Twitter, but I don't write. I never tweet. I haven't tweeted in like years and years and years, but I do love watching I love the commentary. And someone said, someone the other day wrote, like, has there been a movie in recent memory that like really just kind of like a movie or a movie moment that inspires like awe the way that people going and seeing like Jurassic Park the first time did? Like when they first see that dinosaur, when Laura Dern like gets out of the Jeep and there's the dinosaur right there, right? Like that was the clip, and they're like, what movie has done this? And someone said that opening shot of The Brutalist, the Statue of Liberty shot. And I absolutely agree. Like I was awestruck in that moment.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I think it's like this epic, character driven, extremely, extremely memorable. And, yeah, I mean, the moment where they go to Italy and they're looking at that marble, like that also, I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think the performances are very great, and it's a great kind of sobering story about the immigrant experience. And yeah, and I love the thesis of the film. Like at the end, I mean, well,
without giving anything away.
No, I know, but I mean,
okay.
like the last thing that is said, like that thesis, I just completely agree with, and so yeah.
Yeah, my number 6 is Anora, Sean Baker.
That's so low.
Yeah, I think when I first saw Anora, I was like, oh, this is my number 2 or number 3 of the year. But then I saw more movies that I don't know. I look, all these 10 films I love and would buy or have bought. I own some of these on disc. I would buy any of these on disc and watch them multiple times. And I really love Anora. I think there's something interesting though, where like, yes, Florida Project was nominated for a bunch of stuff when it came out in 2017, but I feel like Anora is where the public has finally become aware of Sean Baker.
It always happens like that though.
Yeah.
Like,
and I don't even think this is his best film. I think it's still Florida Project. But Anora is great. It's fantastic. Yeah. And it has that sort of crossover appeal. But I was talking to a friend recently. Of course, the one that crosses over is where he casts the conventionally attractive like woman in the lead role. Where it's like his other characters, it's like real people off the street or whatever.
Right.
I'm like, oh, it makes sense. There's kind of a Hollywood sheen to Anora, which I think it uses as a strength because this movie has such a huge appeal. And the fact that I've heard a lot of complaints against it saying it's not a character study, or they were hoping based on Sean Baker's previous work it was going to get more into her character. I think there's a lot of her character here.
I totally agree. I hate that criticism.
Yeah. And again, I'm not going to say what it is, and it's a cliche at this point, but the ending scene does make it into a great film. Like,
it's so true.
Right?
The ending scene, I couldn't move.
Yeah. So I mean, it's fantastic, and it crosses genres. It starts as one thing and turns into something else, and finishes as something else. It's a beautiful movie. It's full of life. It's exuberant. It's 2.5 hours that whizzes by.
Is it 2.5?
It's like 2:20.
I didn't know that.
So yeah, it's Sean Baker firing on all cylinders. I still think Florida Project is the peak for me, but I think this is great.
Yeah.
And absolutely, like he's such a gift.
It's
like
so
he's
good.
so ridiculously talented.
Yeah.
So that's my number 6. Anora.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know what? I would move. I'm going to be very bold, and I think That Girl with a Needle should be my number 5.
Are you taking your number 5 off?
No, I still really
okay.
enjoyed my number 5. But I'm just saying.
Right. If you could do it all over again, it would have been your number 5.
Probably.
Got it.
Probably. But what I have here.
What's the piece of shit you have on here in its place?
Nosferatu.
What?
Yeah.
You have Nosferatu at number 5?
Well, now it's number 6.
Oh
but then I'll probably put The Brutalist before Nosferatu.
Well, listen. Let's stick.
I don't like this. I've never been good at ranking. I've never been good at choosing favorites. I don't like doing it.
So number 5, Nosferatu. That's what you're saying.
Well, it's The Girl with the Needle.
Okay, well, let's just say it's number 5, and people will take into account that you like Girl with the Needle more.
Yes.
But you can't go changing your numbers now.
Nosferatu.
Wow.
I loved it. I had a really fun time.
That's fair.
I think that it's really good, and I think that it's a Nosferatu for a new generation. I'm not saying I still love the old ones. I still think the Herzog one is my favorite. Absolutely.
Yep.
But I really enjoyed this. And I'm glad that a larger public has seen a good Nosferatu.
I mean, what was the last
I know you
Nosferatu?
disagree.
Like there was bad Nosferatus?
No, but like it's not all like Twilight now.
Oh, okay.
And also like yeah, I mean like the Coppola Dracula is very like Twilighty.
What?
I just mean in that like he's hot. You know what I mean? And like this guy's
in the Coppola one, he's hot and then he's hideous.
Yeah, but like he's already been hot, so he can't go that bad.
Yeah, he's never hot in this one.
Never. He's disgusting, and I love that about it.
Yeah.
And I really love Nicholas Hoult in it. I think he's so good.
Yeah, he does a good job.
Anyway, that's
That movie is not on my list.
I know it's not.
I think Robert Eggers, the more films he makes, he's losing his sheen for me. And I think all of his inspirations he takes, he just does them, but not as good. Like you see Possession in there. Isabelle Adjani's performance obviously influenced Lily Rose Depp's. Like you said, every other Nosferatu and Dracula adaptation ever, because Nosferatu is basically Dracula. Anyway, it's your pick. I don't want to go. But yeah, I was very disappointed with it.
That's sad.
And I am the gothic horror boy. Like when they release one, I'm there and I'm front row with my popcorn and my icy. But this one, I just like it disappointed.
Really?
Yeah.
I find it weird that it was that disappointing.
I think he failed to do anything interesting or new with the material, is what I felt. Because Dracula has been adapted so many times.
No, I felt he did. Like I felt her relationship with him. I don't know. Anyway.
That's actually number 2. That's your number 2.
Why?
I'm changing the numbers.
I think from here on out, my list is very
set in stone.
Yeah, these 4, well, technically 5 movies that I'm going to talk about. I love, love, love. You can't ever get me to stop loving.
Nice. So, you mean I can get you to stop loving Nosferatu?
Not you personally. I think just me as a person.
What was that? Your number 5?
That was my number 5, but technically my number 6 because
listen, we have to stick to the numbers. My number 5 is Dune Part 2.
Nice.
And this could have even been higher. Denis Villeneuve. I know a lot of people that don't like the Dune movies, who don't want to watch them, no interest in them. Maybe they saw the first one and they're like, I have no interest in seeing the second one. I feel very similarly to you, where I think it's the best sort of big Hollywood spectacle movie we've had in a while. And usually every year when we do these lists, I get 1 or 2 of them in. Like I put Top Gun Maverick on my list. I put Godzilla -1 on my list.
Yeah.
But this one, I mean, it's incredible. Well, Godzilla also is not Hollywood in any way. Thoroughly Japanese production. But this is how to do this right. And I think
agree.
A lot of people get lost in the Dune sort of lore. And I think a lot of people found the first one really dry because it is the first half of the book, which I've never read. But the first movie is just exposition.
Yeah.
It's setting everything up. And I think he does it really well.
Right.
So I've seen the first one multiple times. But the second one, this is where you get into it.
Yeah.
You know, and I think I got a feeling while watching this, and I saw it like opening day, pretty sure it was projected on film at the Vista Theater.
So cool.
In Los Feliz. And it was like a towering, earth-shattering performance. Like it was incredible. And I got the feeling while watching this, I remembered seeing Lord of the Rings when they came out. And I felt similarly, especially like in Return of the King.
Yeah.
How epic how big the scale was and how well it was handling it, and how it was still dedicated to character work,
Right.
and this huge ensemble, and it's servicing all the characters and it's doing all the things, but it's also giving you these huge sights, and it was thundering and beautiful, and I fucking loved it. And I know a lot of people don't like it or will not watch it, and it's the running joke this year that a lot of Oscar voters aren't voting for it because they don't want to watch it, which I don't know, kind of blows my mind.
It blows my mind that it's nominated for Best Picture but nothing else. Probably visual effects.
Oh, it should be, yeah. I don't know, wild, but I thought it was fantastic. And I'm not one of those people that, like, I like Villeneuve, but some people talk about him like he's the greatest filmmaker of his generation, which he's not. I do like someone like him much more than Nolan, though. I think his movies are like just as serious as Nolan's, but they're better made and there's more focus on character work, which Nolan is not very good at. So I loved this movie. I only saw it the once. I meant to rewatch it before doing this list. It might even be higher if I had rewatched it, but it's incredible. It's an incredible achievement.
I agree.
And every big spectacle blockbuster should try to be at this level.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I agree.
Dune Part 2.
Okay. Number 4 is The Substance for me.
Nice.
I saw this movie twice.
Well, you know what? That's also my number 4. So we could talk about it at the same time.
Let's do
You saw it twice. Okay.
I saw it twice because my boyfriend wasn't with me the first time and he hates body horror.
Oh, I think you're going to say you hated it.
Hates body horror, and somehow I convinced him to go see it again because some of my friends wanted to go see it. He was covering his eyes most of the time, but he still really liked it. And I think that's just a testament to the power of the movie and how funny it is and how sad and how just like memorable. Like, how do you forget that movie? You can't.
Yeah.
And it really stuck with me. Listen, I don't like horror. I don't like body horror.
I'm telling you though, you do like good horror. You literally have 2 horror movies on your top 10
What's
so
the
far.
other one?
Nosferatu.
Would you call that a horror movie?
Yes.
To me, horror movie is The Ring, where it's like you can't sleep at night,
But the
and
thing
it's
is,
fucking terrifying, and things are coming out of your TV.
I think
That's a horror movie.
You have a
to
very
me.
specific definition of horror when it is this like large umbrella of a lot of things could fit under horror. But yeah, it's a beautiful genre. It's one of my favorite genres. It's beautiful.
I think that The Substance is incredible.
It is.
I think that the fact, like, just all of the practical effects, everything about it, all the practical effects, the fact that like there isn't that much dialogue and it's like a purely visual movie, and the performances, and to me more.
Yeah.
Getting into that makeup, and Margaret Qualley too. Like, that's Margaret Qualley at the end as okay.
Dennis Quaid too.
Dennis Quaid is really, really good in it.
Yeah, he is.
And I noticed him more the second time. The second time I was dying every time he was on the screen.
Yeah.
Like, he's funny in it.
Yeah, he's great.
And I just think that it's such a good, like, just straightforward visual storytelling example of, like how to make a movie.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah.
I think it's fantastic. It's a satire. It's a very obvious one. Like, you're not going to be like, what's this saying? It's like it hits you over the head with it. But I love those movies, and I think it's a testament to the movie that it's also like 2.5 hours, or it's like 2:20, and it doesn't feel like it.
Not at all.
And it just, because it changes gears so many times, and it ramps up, and then it ramps up more, and then it ramps up, and just when you think it can't ramp up anymore,
it can't. That's
does.
what I loved about it so much.
It's incredible.
Yeah,
it's incredible.
It is.
The achievement is massive, and it's like resuscitated the career of Demi Moore, and it's brought Dennis Quaid sort of into the indie scene a little bit, and giving him this kind of role that I've never seen him do before.
Yeah,
it's fantastic.
I agree.
Coralie Forget.
Yeah, Coralie Forget, and I'm just shocked that it like broke the Oscars barrier, and it's like nominated for so many categories, which I'm so happy about, but like just seems so out of character.
Well, I think because it's like kind of about Hollywood in a way. It's about women's beauty standards and stuff, and I think they love cutting movies about themselves, and it's like, you know, it's fantastic. I
loved it.
This could have easily, I think at one point in the year, this was like my number 2 movie. So
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really, really.
And I want everyone to see it. Like, I want people, like my family, to see it. But like, I know they won't. And they'll probably hate it. But like, it's that kind of movie. It's like when I got home, I was like, you have to see this movie. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And I just feel like I don't get that much.
I would love to unleash this on someone that doesn't know what to expect. Although when I first saw it, I hadn't even seen a trailer. I was just like, okay, cool, I'm going. And then I was pretty surprised.
I knew it was kind of horror-y, but I didn't know the extent. And again, the first time I saw it, theater full of people, laughing, screaming, wincing, just like covering their eyes. We were all just in it together, and it was so fun.
It's an audience movie. I think like so Anora, fun. Which we mentioned, and this and Dune, like they're these movies that play really well on a big screen in a multiplex too.
Yeah.
Because I saw Anora opening night at an AMC, and it was packed, and everyone's laughing and reacting with it, and the same way.
Yeah, yeah. So that's my number 4.
That was my number 4 also. So what is your number 3?
Okay, so number 3, this is where I'm going to get into the whole like discrepancy between the 2023 movies and the 2024. So I have 2 movies tied that both came out in the US in 2024, but they were European 2023 movies.
Okay.
So it's La Chimera, which I've kind of expressed how much I love, but I love it. So if this movie came out this year officially, it would probably be my number 1. Okay. You get what I mean? I'm kind of a purist, like technically, because they didn't really come out, because I feel so like I've fallen I don't know how to express myself. I feel very behind when it comes to this, so I feel weird saying it's like my favorite movie. Anyway, it's that La Chimera, and it's The Taste of Things by Tran Anh Hung.
Oh, I meant to see that.
Which came out in February 2024 in the US. La Chimera was March 2024.
So wait, these are tied because...
They're tied for 3 because they both technically didn't come out in 2024.
All right.
But I love them. I love them. Like, my heart beats for both of these movies. The Taste of Things is so incredible. Like, I cannot tell you how good this movie is. You have to just go see it. I think you'll love it. It's like... they're just cooking. They're just cooking in like the 1800s in France.
Sounds great.
So
is it like Babette's Feast?
Yes. Yeah. It's like Babette's Feast. But of course there is a story, but it's just so, I don't know, elegant and like beautiful. It does get kind of sad, but then it gets happy again. And it's just a delight to behold everything about it. I took my mom and my grandma, and they both loved it.
Nice.
So it's really good.
So it's like the chocolat of today.
A little bit. Also with Juliette Binoche, but it's chocolat, but it's much slower and less plotty.
Nice. Yeah, meant to see it.
I think you're gonna really like it because it's gorgeous and will make you very hungry.
And then your tied film was La Chimera?
Yes. So those are like 3. Those are number 3. Okay. I think those are all-timers. I mean, I think everything from 4 and up is an all-timer.
Right. Yeah, that's fair. I think there's a lot on here.
What's your number 3?
So in my top 3 now, any of these 3 could have been my number 1.
I feel a similar way.
Like they're almost interchangeable at this point.
Yes.
And I think depending on which day you ask me, any of these could have been my favorite from this year. My number 3 is a big surprise to me because I didn't really care about seeing this and I resisted seeing it. And I probably had tickets to this 2 or 3 times before I actually went to go see it. And I ended up going by myself, an 8:30 showing that got out.
AM?
No, PM. And I got out like at 12:30 in the morning.
Wow.
The Brutalist, Brady Corbet. I think I've had a couple friends tell me I wasn't going to like it. And also Brady Corbet is... some of the press he's done for it has been a little off-putting because he's a little cocky. And so I kind of went in with my arms folded and like, okay, sure, show me. Like kind of not ready to hate it. So it's to the movie's quality. Like the fact that the movie wowed me and could very easily be my number 1 was a big feat. I loved it.
Yeah.
I thought it was fantastic. It's in the great movie making tradition of, I think about The Godfather. I think about Once Upon a Time in America. I think about these sort of just like sprawling literary epics.
Yes.
And that's what you're getting here. And these don't get made. This shares a lot of DNA with something like The Master or There'll Be Blood.
Yes.
And I think those are better movies, but those are like also all timers. But I think The Brutalist is incredible, breathtaking filmmaking on such a huge canvas. And it's broken up into 2 parts. And most people I talk to, even the people that don't really like it, they're like, I really loved the first half, but they couldn't do the second half because the movie is structured like a piece of architecture. The way that it's split and the prologue and epilogue and the chapters, and Brady has talked about the first half being minimal and the second half being maximalist.
Sure.
And for me, that works. And I know a lot of friends think that the second half is too telegraphed and too on the nose. I'm a Ken Russell fan. Like, I love maximalism. And I think contrasted with this minimalist first half,
sure,
it makes for a really interesting experience. It's a lot of what he's saying on the nose, absolutely. But like, I don't care. Sometimes I like to be hit over the head. I think it's a beautiful, sprawling literary work. It's shot beautifully. The score, like you said, is amazing. Guy Pearce, I thought, was incredible in this, and Adrian Brody, who I'm not like a huge fan of, but thought he was great in this. And the way that they were able to make this like VistaVision period epic for like less than 10 million.
That's what I'm so impressed about. I think it was 6 million.
That's incredible.
Everyone made the same amount of money on that movie.
That's amazing.
Every crew member, and I believe the cast as well. Like, everyone got paid the same.
Felicity Jones.
Great. I love Felicity Jones.
Yeah, she's good too.
She's such a great actress.
It just, this movie blindsided me. Like, I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Did you like the epilogue?
Yeah, I did. Did you? Without saying anything.
I don't know.
I did like it.
I really love what was said in the epilogue. But yeah. No, I'm very pleasantly surprised that you loved it. I really am.
And I remember talking to you too, and you were like, go see it. You were the one kind of pushing me to see it. And I was like, does it earn its runtime? And you were like, not 100%. And I would argue that, like, is there stuff in here you could cut and keep the sense of what it is? Yes. But I love if it was up to me, I wouldn't cut anything, because it really allows you time to settle into this world. Especially with the whole concept of like the journey versus the end, which I understand and I totally get. But yeah, no, I also really, really liked it. Yeah, I mean, it was on your list.
Yeah.
So yeah, number 3 for me, The Brutalist.
That's great. I agree with you. Like, anything now is kind of like,
could be your number 1.
Yeah. Even like The Taste of Things, La Quimera, The Substance. Yeah. Okay. So my number 2, technically, well, it's like, okay, these two are really interchangeable and I've changed them all the time. I think I still don't even feel comfortable. Can I say both of them, or do I have to have a number 1?
Pick one. Go with your gut. Don't overthink it.
Yeah, I mean, my gut is telling me Anora. I love Anora. I think Anora is exactly the type of movie we need every single year, at least like 5 of them.
Yeah.
Can we just do this, please? I thought it was funny. I thought it was heartbreaking. It's a Sean Baker movie. Like, what more is there to say?
Yeah.
I love Sean Baker and I love his movies.
He's a treasure.
He continues making them. And I'm so glad that people are finally catching on. And I'm not mad that it's like this and not Florida Project. Like, I love Florida Project, but I think that this film is incredible and anything to get him there. So I really hope he wins Best Director.
Yeah, me too.
I really, really do.
I agree with that. I think of everyone, he deserves it the most.
And I think Mikey Madison is amazing. If Demi Moore doesn't win, I hope it's Mikey Madison. I really, really do.
She's been around for a while, but I would say this is the movie that announces her.
I think so. She's so funny.
Like, she's a star
so
now.
Heartbreaking. Yeah. I love it. And I also hate all those criticisms of like, she's such a flat character and what is this? And it's like, clearly you haven't seen a Sean Baker movie if you think that he is giving you a one-dimensional character. I mean, not that it's like, I think the film makes it like the ending, like, and I know it's such a cliche, but like, look at that ending.
Yeah.
And I just feel for her so much. Like we're with her the whole movie, and like, I feel very close to her, and I feel like I know her, and this is a real person in real life. And I think that that is very difficult to achieve in essentially a comedy.
Yeah.
Like, it's essentially a slapstick comedy.
Screwball.
Screwball. Yeah. It is a screwball comedy.
It is. It's a situational sort of like things go wrong comedy.
It's so funny. And even, what's the Russian guy's name? Yura. I think Yura Borisov, who plays Igor, is so good. And I love him. Like, while I remember watching it, and every time he did something nice, I was just like, oh. And then like, finally at the end.
Well, don't say anything.
I'm not going to say anything. But obviously, you know, everyone in this is good. Shout out to Garen Karagulian, who has been with Sean Baker since the beginning. And this is kind of his big moment so far. So I'm really excited to see what else they do. I mean, everything they do is great. So yeah.
Yeah. Incredible. Great movie. Absolutely great.
I know.
I think it's already kind of a modern classic.
I agree.
Nice. Beautiful.
What's your number 2?
My number 2, again, this could be my number 1 on a different day you ask me, but it is I Saw the TV Glow by Jane Schoenbraun. This was in your honorable mentions. Ever since I saw this, I feel like it was almost a year ago now it came out.
It feels like so long ago.
But I've seen this one twice.
Oh.
So my top 2, and maybe this has something to do with it, but my top 2 I've seen more than once.
Yeah.
So I've seen this twice, and this is incredible. I want
to see it again.
It's so good. I think it's like a mistake to market it as a horror movie, which A24 did. Wait, was it A24? Yeah, it was. They marketed it as a horror movie because that's their bread and butter. That's, you know, kind of an artsy horror movie. It's not horror at all.
No.
And I think this is one. I saw Jane's first film, which was We're All Going to the World's Fair. At least I think that was their first film. But this one, and I liked that, but it's very, very small. And it was just like the seed of something. And then I saw that seed grow into I Saw the TV Glow.
Which is very cool.
Which is just like an incredible, really, it's a trans story. It's Jane's story about growing up not comfortable in your own skin, growing up and just sort of losing yourself in your favorite fictional characters, your favorite TV show or whatever, and what that means to you at that age. And it's so beautifully told, and it's kind of Lynchian, and that is thrown around so often. And there's a lot of people who ape Lynch and don't do it well, but Jane takes inspiration and makes it their own. And I think it's just an incredible piece of work that is challenging and enigmatic and just really, really beautiful. And unlike quite anything I've ever seen. And I think it does play really well for people of my age because it's very much about the 90s shows we kind of grew up with. There was this whole slew of sort of supernatural shows in the 90s into the early 2000s. And I just think it's an incredible piece of work. I think the 2 lead actors, whose names I'm blanking on right now, but they're both incredible. They are. Really, really great performances. And the filmmaking itself, like, you just never quite know what it's going to do next. And tonally, it does so many things. It's really baked in this kind of suburban melancholy that I found very relatable. But yeah, I thought it was a masterpiece.
Yeah.
So just very easily could have been my number 1.
It was a great movie.
Yeah.
No, it really was.
Yeah.
I should see it again. But you're absolutely right about the movies that you did end up seeing twice. And the only film I haven't mentioned, which I guess is my number 1, even though I think it's like all 4, the top 4 have interchanged, but it's Challengers, which I saw twice and bought immediately.
Did you see it twice?
Yes. Challengers.
Wow.
It was really, I think it's an all-timer for me and for the cultural zeitgeist. Like, I really, I love it. I love tennis, and I love how emotional it is, and I love that there's this now love triangle tennis movie. I love that.
Yeah.
And we don't get love triangles anymore.
It's
and this
true.
one is good, and it's kind of queer, and it's like, it's just, I just love it. I love the first time I saw it and just how shocked I was every second. Not shocked in like it's like such a shock. It's just the twists and turns are amazing. And I love Josh O'Connor so much. So I love Challengers.
This is one of 2 Luca movies released last year.
Yes. And I did like Queer a lot, but for me, Challengers is the all-timer.
It does feel like a throwback in a fun way to a kind of movie that isn't made anymore.
For sure.
I think there's a few of those on our lists.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, I know you had a different opinion, but it is kind of, I guess that's the only movie I haven't mentioned yet, so
Wow.
it must be number 1. But I did see it twice.
Nice.
And I love Zendaya too. I mean, she's amazing. Zendaya's in 2 of my movies.
Yeah, Dune.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Nice. All right. I didn't think that was going to be your number 1, but
yeah.
it makes sense.
It's the kind of movie that I want everyone to see.
Yeah.
Like, Mom, watch this.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, I feel similarly about my number 1, where I think everyone should see it.
Which is?
Perfect Days, Wim Wenders.
Wait a second. That counts as this year?
It came out in the US in 2024.
What?
Yeah.
When?
Like in spring or summer.
It did?
Yeah.
I am so messed up.
Would that have
in
been
the
on your
brain.
list?
Of course.
Oh.
Of course. I am messed up in the brain. Because I went off Letterboxd and okay, it came after on my Letterboxd. It comes after La Quimera, so I just assumed like it came out.
No, it's a pain in the ass because for each movie you have to go in. Often on Letterboxd they have the info, but sometimes you go to IMDb and you look at like when it was given a limited release, and for that it was 2024 here.
I love that movie.
Yeah.
Of course that would be on my list.
I was wondering when you said your number 1 was Challengers, I was like, oh, you totally left off Perfect Days. Because I knew you liked it.
I'm just not. I'm not well.
So yeah, that's my number 1. I think Wim Wenders is another master on this list.
Another master.
He's one of my all-time favorite directors. I think his work is absolutely incredible, and I think he's one of the great outsider artists ever. Like, he's made some great films about his native Germany, like Wings of Desire and so many, but then he's given us some of the best movies ever about America. Mm-hmm. Like Paris, Texas, arguably maybe the greatest film about America made by an outsider. So here he goes to Japan and he makes a movie about toilets in Tokyo, which was commissioned to him. So it is a real thing. If you've seen the movie, it's about a guy that cleans toilets. I mean, that's literally the movie. But these toilets exist. It's called the Tokyo toilet. And they're these kind of futuristic, super clean, chic looking toilets. And so they approached him because he does documentary work also. They're like, hey, do you want to make a documentary about our toilets? And he was like, I don't want to make a documentary. I want to make a movie about the guy who is the keeper of the toilets. And so
good.
Koji Yakusho plays the title character. He plays the guy whose job it is to clean these toilets each day. And he has a route. And the movie is basically like a week or so in his life. And it's just it's kind of like Patterson in that way. Although I like this like more than Patterson. I like this considerably more than Patterson. And you just follow him waking up, watering his plants, getting ready for work, and
getting his coffee
from the vending machine, because in Japan, vending machine food is actually good, unlike here. And going to clean his toilets, going on his route. And it's kind of solitary work. He does have a coworker sort of at points. But a lot of the movie, I mean, the central message of finding beauty in the everyday sort of parts of life and living this content, solitary existence. I think in these times, I think why it pushed to number 1 for me is because I think we need a movie like this now more than ever.
I agree.
That's just about, there's so many moments in the movie where he just stops and watches the wind blow through the trees, or, you know, it's just it's beautiful. It's a beautiful movie, and everyone I know that has seen it loves it.
Yeah. What's not to love?
Yeah.
Also, it's a movie about physical media.
Yeah, that's true.
No, really.
It is.
Like, he spends his days shopping for cassettes and books. And it's, there's a whole plot line too about a cassette.
Yeah, his tapes. Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah. And the music that he listens to on his drives, and every weekend he'll like go to the bookstore and he'll get like one used book and he'll read that book through the week, and then the next week he goes to the bookstore and gets one more book.
It's so good.
It's just a beautiful, beautiful, life-affirming movie.
Yes.
And so many of the movies on our lists are pretty dark.
Yeah.
Most great films are, unfortunately. I don't know why that's the case, but usually, I mean, I'm looking at the list now. Most of these are pretty dark. But this one is not. This is a beautiful movie. And the fact, too, that Wim Wenders is, I think, in his 80s and still making such great work is really a testament to how great of a director he is.
Definitely.
And I did in a totally surreal event. I saw this at AMC Burbank 16, which, if anyone knows, is the one with the dumb Batman statue out front. And it's like in this sort of outdoor mall with like, a Cold Stone Creamery and like other things. But Wim Wenders was at our screening. Oh, with Koji, with the star.
Crazy.
And I was like, this is such a weird, I know we're in LA, but also like the fact that it's like AMC Burbank and like there's Wim Wenders, and like it totally broke my brain a little bit. And I like desperately wanted to go up to him afterwards, but I'm like, what am I going to say? Just like, oh, I love your movies. Like, so I just didn't, because I couldn't, because you can't. I don't know. I don't have anything meaningful to say.
You just say thank you.
Yeah, I didn't. So I number one. But again, this, I saw the TV Glow or The Brutalist all could have been number one.
I'm really pissed.
Where would this have fallen?
I love this movie. Definitely. What did I say number 5 was? The Girl with the Needle? Probably there before The Girl with the Needle. Then these are pretty good movies, honestly. Oh my God. I'm just not here today.
Yeah, it's like I always go whenever we prepare for this, I go through my letterbox and I look at everything in that, because you can sort by year.
That's what I did.
I go back.
Was so far behind that I was like, oh, that wasn't this year.
Yeah, it just took a while to get here.
Man.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
It's hard. I'm sure even I might have forgotten about something. I don't know, but hopefully not.
I would have redone this whole list.
But I think it's telling that my top 2 are movies I saw like close to a year ago. Like Perfect Days and I Saw the TV Glow came out almost a year ago. And I'm still watching them, still thinking about them.
Same with me with La Quimera and The Taste of Things. I think about those movies all the time. They're so beautiful, both of them.
Well, this was our top 10 films of 2024.
Yes, it was.
Try to make sense of Jackie's list. Oh, one thing I would love to do is just go through one more time, like just say them in order.
Okay, why? I can't. I messed up.
Just say, but people know your amendments, so just go through as written.
As written.
As written.
Okay, as written. I'm going to go through it.
Just starting at number 10 and going down.
Sure. Number 10, Conclave. Number 9, Nickel Boys. Number 8, Dune Part 2. Number 7, A Different Man. Number 6, The Brutalist. Number 5, Nosferatu. Number 4, The Substance. Number 3, La Quimera / The Taste of Things. Number 2, Anora. Number 1, Challengers.
Nice. Since you did the thing, I'm just gonna say my number 11, Queer.
Go for it.
Number 10, Love Lies Bleeding. Number 9, La Quimera. Number 8, The Girl with the Needle. Number 7, Hard Truths. Number 6, Anora. Number 5, Dune Part 2. Number 4, The Substance. Number 3, The Brutalist. Number 2, I Saw the TV Glow. And number 1, Perfect Days.
Nice. Well, that was 2024.
That was 2024. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a bad year, but I agree with...
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Looking back, and I forgot about all these movies, and no, they're good.
Yeah, they're good.
But they didn't really come out this year, is what I'm trying to say.
They did here.
It's complicated.
I like how every year you get slightly hung up on the coming out year of.
I do.
Because if we didn't do this, that means
They'd
we could
get lost.
We could never put them on our list.
I know.
Because last year when we did our favorite 2023 movies, so if Perfect Days came out in Germany or Japan or whatever in 2023, we wouldn't have been able to see it until 2024. Yeah. So I never would have put it on my list, and here it is, my number one.
Damn.
So that's why you have to do released in the US.
Okay, so next year I'm just not even going to regard that at all.
You're not going to regard it?
No, I'm not going to dock like a movie just because it came out.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, that's what all critics do that. Because it's like, otherwise they couldn't have seen the movies.
But the critics see them the year they come out.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Anyway,
well, this was fun.
This was fun. I'm kind of surprised. I don't know. I didn't know what your number one was going to be.
I like your list a lot.
Do you like my list more than your list?
Maybe. I'm jealous of your list.
I mean, you only forgot about Perfect Days, right?
And Girl with the Needle.
Oh, Girl with the Needle. Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
So yeah, this was fun. It's always such a treat to get to do these every year with you, Jackie, because it's like, honestly, like, it's such a low stakes episode.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just fun to sit down with our lists, and it's fun because we keep them private and you know.
Yeah, no, and I think that me and you have very similar sensibilities and tastes, but it's interesting where they divert from each other.
Yeah, exactly.
It's never like shocking. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's the key.
Right. You're never shocked.
I'm never shocked that we disagree about something, but it is also interesting whenever it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we do have very similar sensibilities with some tweaks here and there.
That's the way to do it. Because it wouldn't work. You can't have a film podcast with someone who's like completely different.
Yeah,
it's
true. Yeah. I think maybe the first year we did this, it was like, if I remember correctly, our lists were like I think it was the same group of 10. They were just kind of shuffled in a slightly different order.
That did happen. Was that last year or the year before?
I think it was the year before.
Well, last year we had the same number one, which was Poor Things.
Poor Things, yeah.
I don't remember the year before.
The year before, I had Banshees of Inisherin as my number one.
Man,
what was
really?
yours? I'm trying to remember what your number one was. We'll have to go back and listen.
I have no idea. It's so bad.
It's not that bad. We recorded that 2 years ago.
I know, but you think I remember what my favorite movie from 2 years ago was? Let's see. Tar? Or was that last year?
No. I think it was Tar.
Probably Tar.
Yeah, you had Tar and I had Banshees. Yeah, I think that's what it was.
I don't like making lists.
I know you don't.
Anyway.
But the people do. The people love it.
I did it for you guys.
And look what happened. You're like, this isn't my number 5. This is actually my number 4. Oh, wait, this one shouldn't be on.
Oh, man. Okay.
Well, this was super fun.
Let's see who wins this weekend.
Thanks for tuning in. Yes, I'm curious to see, although everyone will know by the time they listen to this who won the Oscars. But next week, we're coming back with a Hitchcock film. We're coming back with Rear Window. So we're back on the Sight and Sound list, and we have a couple Hitchcocks really close to each other. So
it's going to be fun.
Rear Window is the first. We have a special guest for that one. Super excited. We've actually already recorded that one, so it's going to be airing slightly out of order because we do mention Challengers in that episode.
Oh, I think I also mentioned Girl with the Needle because that's when
I think you did. Yes, exactly. So if you're like, oh, wait, she just saw Girl with the Needle, we recorded that first.
Yeah,
so
if you're confused.
Anyway, thanks for joining us. This is super fun, Jackie.
Yeah, always.
Come back next week for Rear Window. Until then, I'm Greg.
I'm Jackie.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Seen and Heard is an official podcast of the Arroyo Film Club. We'd love to hear from you. If you want to drop us a line, you can find us on email at hello@seenandheardpod.com or on Instagram @seenandheardpod.